Hi, I'm Don Pavlik, Don Pavlik Art. Here today we're going to present to you a video of one of the processes that I've gone through to learning to draw the female head in a three-quarter point of view itself. I use a little bit of reference from a couple of tutorials on basically head construction itself. Hair, basically I imagined it right off the top of my head, so it's a little funky on that side of things. This is the second live attempt that I also did drawing while I was at Starbucks during my lunch hour. So I also answer potential few questions of what products or tools I'm using for the drawing, and they're inserted inside of the drawing as well. So hope you enjoy. Following a few techniques here, first starting off with a circle, then drawing a center line. The next step I try to follow is adding the actual chin and cheek side to the actual face, going in here and drawing the second chin itself, or actually chin, the jawbone itself to the piece. Next piece I add the ear because I'm here. Tend not to follow any written process or traditional process. I basically start drawing what parts of the face that kind of feel like I need to be added next. I'm going to start adding the nose here using a tiny little circle trick I kind of learned from previous tutorials on drawing cartoon female heads. I have a nice little nose line indentation over there, got the underside of the nose, got a side nostril being added there. Now we add the lip itself. This is where I should get the center mark of the mouth, where I'm building off the bottom lip, and then I build out the top lip itself. The tool I'm using here is a 2mm lead holder, specifically the Pacific Arc H1305 2mm lead holder. The lead I'm using inside this lead holder is a Staedtler Blue 2mm lead. Kind of erases nicely with the most general erases, provided that you don't draw really rough or heavy. Now I'm actually going to start trying to add the eye socket. So I'm not actually drawing the eye here at the moment. I'm just trying to get the socket so I can get the eye placed in the right spot. Earlier attempts of mainly drawing people's heads, I would actually just drop the eye in and not really give it much placement to the side of the head. So here I'm drawing the top of the eye, then go for the bottom of the eye itself for the outside eye over here. And then I add the iris, give it a little bit of color, and then I rough out the nose a little bit more so I can actually add the eyebrow. And you can see the eyebrow that I added here is at the top of that big circle of where I had the eye socket. And these eye sockets are huge because this is a cartoon female head, so naturally if this was actually more realistic, those circles would be smaller. Of course the nose would be definitely rendered a little different. And here we can see now I'm actually adding the eye on the other side of the head, the center part here. So I have the general eye shape being added, and then I'm adding now the other iris itself. Now essentially I have basically part of the head done, besides before I add this last eyebrow. And I keep on tending to make tweaks throughout my drawing process. I mean, granted, one reason why you can use blue lead is essentially just so you can have your foundation blocks put down in place, and then you use another lead color or go straight to inking and putting in the details. My process tends to be have to go through and draw the whole thing. So I tend to stick with just doing everything in the blue. That way when I go over with either ink or a graphite pencil itself, then I know what lines and basically what line is what. So as you can see here, I've started drawing the hair, adding some nice little spiky bangs that go down over the eyebrow there. Cutting up a little bit more of the hair there. As I said, The hair when I was doing this one was pretty much made up off the top of my head because I didn't have any reference at the time. Not necessarily a good thing to do when you're trying to get more practice of drawing people, especially from comics. Here I'm just adding shoulders. The interesting thing I've noticed about this after reviewing this a couple times is kind of have her shoulders kind of going up like a, I don't know, or meh kind of point of view, and her eyes don't match that whatsoever. So we definitely have to make sure that we keep the shoulder, the body language in sync with what the face is saying. Her face right now is just kind of a nice little smirk looking over in the direction to her right direction. Now, most people, I should say, just long, smooth, flowing lines, and I end up doing that a little bit later. But starting off for some reason, especially around short turns and curves, I tend to just do the short little choppy lines, and then I go for long, smooth lines itself. I believe this is just mainly because I'm still trying to find the line and define the shape that I'm going for, more so than anything else. So here I'm trying to figure out how to finish off the rest of the bangs, making a little bit more spiky kind of hair. I really have no idea what this would look like in real life, but that's the hairstyle she has. So yeah, pretty much we have the sketch art pretty much done. So now we're going to be moving on to the inking process, and the tool I use for this sketch here is the Copic brush pen itself. So it's a nice little brush pen. Starting here with the inside of the ear itself, building up practice and patience with this tool itself. It seems like it can't really get the fine lines, like the really thin lines that I really want to get, that I can get with the another type of brush pen, which it's a Pentel brush pen itself. But I have the Copic one here with me, and I wanted to get more use out of it. It does make them very lightweight, and I definitely tend, while on the downstroke, get a little heavy-handed, so that's why at times, instead of going down on her cheek itself, I actually end up going up, because I'm noticing that I'm getting heavy there. So by going up, I can kind of smooth out the line, make it a bit lighter. Here, go from heavy to light for the eyebrow itself, and then from the other eyebrow, a little bit of a light to heavy, adding a little bit extra thickness there with the pen. And now I draw the curve, the nose line there, the brush pen, and then go up. As you can see, at least from what I'm seeing here, I'm still a little heavy-handed with this brush pen. Definitely probably gonna, I should probably would have used the Pentel brush pen. It would keep giving me more of a dry brush look, and when I'm doing line work, I don't like doing a dry brush look. I want that nice solid filled line that I can get, especially with this brush pen here or with a multi-liners. I really like the look of the brush pen itself, so I try to default to that for my inking process, especially for learning sketches. Like here's a sketch where I'm just trying to rough out a female face, trying to learn to get the proportions down, get the shapes right, just so I can get a decent looking head itself for a cartoon. And then what I do next, just throw the ink on it, because this is not a finished piece of work. This is something I'm going to use to keep on practicing. So I will draw another female here, just grab the nice little marks just to practice that inking with. I remember hearing or watching a YouTuber who basically said he got critique from somebody who reviewed his portfolio, and he said, no, you have no inking, your inking is horrible. So he went back to all his sketches that he had in the sketchbook and just inked over every single one of those items in the sketchbook, essentially ruining the perfect pencil work. But his goal essentially was to improve his inking work, and he did. So I definitely recommend, don't stay married to those sketches. If you want to have those sketches be perfect, take a picture of them. Now here we're finishing up with the lips itself of the image itself. Gonna add it there, finishing touch. So alrighty, that is the female cartoon head. I hope you enjoy.